Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday, February 10th. Exactly. I hope everybody is awake. Okay, the most exciting thing that's going on at the moment. If you happen to be I get all kinds of inquiries. A Mega Millions player tonight was the drawing for the Tuesday. Remember, Mega Millions is Tuesday party. Bingo. There it is. No, it isn't. We want the favorites. There we go. Let's see, how's this one? Yeah, this is the one I want. This is the winning numbers. 5, 25, 30, 30, 36, 68. With the Powerball, not Powerball, what do you call it? Mega Millions ball, 6. Yeah, I don't know what they call that ball in Mega Millions. It's the yellow ball, as you can see. You got 5 ping pong ball kind of things, numbered 1 through 70. They pick them out one by one. Same machine, same set of balls, 1 through 70. The yellow ball is 1 through 24. With the lottery winnings ratio of 1 in 290 million. So if you win, boy, I'll tell you what, it's like getting hit by lightning. There you go. There's the official result right off my lottery app on my iPhone. Yeah. Well, I can pick it up on the, let's do it on, there we go, right here. Since we have add me in here. Hello, I'm over here. Got my little studio going here. There you go. You see that? This is Lottery Central. You see that official logo up on the top? Yeah. This little thing over here. There we go. So you can see Tuesday, February 10th. There's the numbers. There's anything else that pulls today. I guess Jackpot Triple Play also plays. Never seen or heard of that one. There's Mega Millions. $5 a ticket. 5, 25, 30, 36, 68, and 6 is the magic number. Okay, now that we've established that, now I'm going to go back to my pictures. There it is again. Whoops, no, this ain't going to bring over. There you go. And there is the $366 million. Yeah, there it is. February 10th. No, we don't know that it's rolling over. That's why there's no row of numbers on row 21. I just copied roll over there, so I don't have to type it again. If it's if there's a grand prize, then this whole spreadsheet starts over again. 5, 25, 30, 36, 68, 6 is the Mega Million yellow ball. If you choose to be the jackpot lump sum, if you were the single winner, can you imagine if you won tonight and you're the only one that won tonight, which is highly likely if you win that you'll be the only one, because there's only a 1 in 290 million to 1 shot. The likelihood of winning is like slim and none. Anyway, if you were the only winner and you have all 6 of those balls just the way I got them there, then the lump sum is 167,000,003. 167,000,003. You know, but you don't get that. You know why? Because Uncle Sam, although that would be the number you'd put on your tax return as your income for the year. Remember Uncle Sam and the tax return? Well, they know these lottery people. Uncle Sam knows Mega Millions. So all prizes over $600, they're subject to it 24% withholding tax. See, whoops. See in the top of the column there? 24% withholding tax. So we go all the way down here to the last row. That's 127 million. So they'll probably have you standing in front of the camera with they'll probably have you standing there with the 366 million. Jackpot. Takes you 29 years and 1 day to get that though. Yeah. But if you elect the cash, pay me what that annuity is worth. It's I got that right, yeah. 127,148. That's so the 167,000,003 reduces to 127,148. So that would be the check that you'd walk out with 15 days after the lottery. The rules are you got to give the lottery 15 days to submit all, and they do like an audit of every single lottery retailer to make sure all their numbers match up with all the dollars that they sent. Because they sell, they got to $5 a ticket. They got to send that up to Mega Millions headquarters, wherever the hell that is. I'll find that out tomorrow morning. I might ask for it tonight. But let's just carry on here with, since you're the winner, wouldn't that be nice? You would actually get a deposit in your account. They want you to have, they're not demanding it, but because they will give you a check. But they'll credit your account. You give them the bank, your account number and the routing and transit number of the bank, which is a 5 plus 4, 9-digit number. Yeah. Like if If you were in TD Bank, it would be 0670-14822. Those are the numbers if you happen to be an account holder at TD Bank. Then all you got to do is give them the account number, and they'll deposit that number, 127,148. But they require 15 days after the draw date. So they go back and forth with Mega Millions Central, and all the books are balanced because Mega Millions has got to sign off on this $366 million winning ticket, and you want lump sum. So whether it's lump sum or annuity, you have to wait 15 days after the draw date. So that's 2 weeks and a day. So on Wednesday, 2 weeks, tomorrow, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yep. So the reason why it's 15 days is because they want 2 weeks. And, this is 11 o'clock when they know that there's a winning ticket, or they know, or there could be a winning ticket. The very next morning, they know whether there was or wasn't. So if there was, whoosh, everybody's got to settle up. All the lottery retailers, that is. And they make sure, and then Mega Millions headquarters make sure they have every ticket number and every $5 deposit, so to speak, in Mega Millions headquarters main account. I'm kind of making this part up because I know I'm not making up to 2 weeks and a day. The reason why it's and a day is because the draw date is today, but there's only 1 hour left in today. And there's actually 6 minutes left in today by the time I got to you. All right, moving right along. They would do an ACH credit into your account, which means tomorrow morning, bam, that's, 6 a.m., that's in your account. However fast ACH is, it's pretty much immediate. But it may take till, the next morning to show up in your account. All right? It's not like a Zelle transfer, which is, 20 seconds. This takes, and the next day's business. They deposit the money in your account. You get a receipt. That's what you'll get. Now, since you'll be in the top tax bracket, which is 37%, you've been withheld 24%. Well, there's a dangling little 13% left over that you have to pay as soon as you do your tax return on April 15th. It's interesting. You wouldn't actually do your tax return until a year from April, because this April, in 3 months and a bit, 4 months roughly, you would be doing your 2025 tax return. This is 2026 earnings. So what I suggest you do, since you know this is what your balance will be after you've paid all federal tax. okay, which this includes the 24% withholding and the 13%, because 24 and 13 is, you're 37%. So there's about 22 million, looks like. About 22 million, and a bit. So I put 24 million if I were the grand prize winner. 13. Well, let's see if I can do it. Get my trusty calculator around here. Paste. Allow paste. Where to go? Go. What is it? 127, 148, huh? Okay. Look at all those millions. So that would be... No, that's not the right number. No. Back to the spreadsheet. It's this number. It's 13% of that number. See, because this number takes 24% out of that number. Now we got to take another, what is that? 167,300. Back to the trusty calculator. 167. No. A lot of zeros. 167,300,000. That would be the amount, the full amount of, can't hear myself think. Let's turn that down just a tad. There we go. This is the lump sum amount. So that would go on your tax return. Now you've already withheld 24. Uncle Sam has withheld 24%. So we're going to multiply this times 0.13. What's that? 22,749,000. 21,749,000. That's that 22 million I said. So to be safe, put 22 million in a savings account. Just put it right in there. Look what happens. Let me get back to the calculator. Let's just say 22 million. Times. You can get a 4%, a deposit for a year. 800. So you're going to get about $1 million worth of interest. So, you put the 22 million in a side pocket. You make $1 million in interest. Assuming, I guess you wouldn't really owe the other 22 million until you file your return. So you file your return, in a year, and you pay up the other 22 million. So now let's get back to the spreadsheet. So that brings you down. That's why this 105 million is 21 million short of that number. Because that gets taken out of that. So therefore you have to take 13% away from this number right here. We took the 24% out of this number. We got to take the 13% out of that number. let's go to my spreadsheet to make sure I did that math correct. So here's the master. Oh my God. So we're going to click on this cell and hit this right here. All right. I took 167 million. If you look down at the very bottom, you can see that. Oh crap. Oops. That's what I hate about screwing with this. Oh God. All right, that equals that times point 76. All right? Oh my God, I have a cat. Because if 24% is the tax, then 76% is you. Bingo. 127, 148. I'm going to check the next cell and hopefully not touch any other numbers. There you go. So since the total tax is 37%, that means 63% is yours. So we go back to that 167,300,000 number. That's in cell F23. It's highlighted there in the blue. Times 0.63. Bingo, that's it. So I did it correctly. I'm going to touch on this number here just so you can see it. If you can see all the way in the bottom of your screen. Look at the equation for that number. And we're basically going all the way back to the 366 million number. That's that C23. And we're adding to that. Everything's, there's a big bracket here. So that's in the bracket. The question is, that $5,000,005, that is your initial annuity payment. It is a 5% growing annuity. And it's 30 payments. You get this $5,000,005 day one. Well, actually, 15 days after the draw date. Remember that? They have to accumulate all of them. There's 45 state lotteries. There are 45 state Mega Million lotteries. And Florida is one of the states. So the question is, what goes in this box is the first payment. You go all the way to the top, you can see first payment, annual annuity, the initial, the first payment, pre-tax. There are going to be 30 payments. This is the first one, and we'll call it day one. Although we know it's day 15. What would that first payment be if you're going to get 29 more payments, and next year's payment is going to be 5%, 105% bigger than the previous year. That's what a 5% growing annuity means. So $5,784,000, which you see there, is 105% of $5,508,000. So what should that number be? So that with each success, you see all these, look at all these. This is every year. And it goes 8 million, 8,000,005, 8,000,009, 9,000,004. Each annual payment is 5% greater than the previous year. And you keep, there it goes all the way. 23rd, 24th, 25th. There's the 30th payment. Would be, so your 30th payment 29 years from now would be 22 million. That's the art of 5% compounding. Yeah. The year before, it was the 29th payment was 21,295,000 or 595. Excuse me. Anyway, when you add up all those 30 payments, you see how it adds up. I have a little check. It adds up to $366,070,070. So this last payment of $22,267,675, it would be 008, because it's $70 too much. That's why that 70 is there. The final payment has to be reduced by $70. It varies because it's rounding. I'm rounding to the nearest dollar. So the pennies they're not being shown. So this spreadsheet is $70 off for the 30 payments. But we're close, because the final payment would just be, instead of 22,675,078, it would be 008, because it's $70 too much if you add them all up. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. That's compounding. Yep. But some people, so I'm going to get out of this, because I don't want to louse up my spreadsheet. Let's get out of there. I don't want to. There's a lot going on in that particular. To calculate that 5,000,005 is a very complicated formula, because it has to be the right number, so that when you keep adding compounding 5% over 29 years, no, over 30 years, I guess, and it all has to add up to 366 million. It's got a balance to the penny. Yep. Now this is an unofficial spreadsheet. The lottery people have their own, but we'll be close. Because that lump sum is actually the net present value of all those future cash flows that I just showed you. 30 payments. First payment is day one. The last payment will be 29 years from now, and so forth. So my estimation of that net present value, which is also a complicated formula, I have it within, 100,000. I figured I'm not too, the lottery people have their own it depends on the interest rates and so they have a number, and I'll bet you I'm pretty close. I figure I'm within 100,000 of it. So they may say 167.4, they may say 167,300,000, 200,000. I've rounded this. Let's just touch this. Oh, is there a rounding on this? Yeah, I'm rounding. Yeah. See, -5. So you go over 5 decimal places. Yeah. So I'm rounding to the nearest 100,000. I could change that rounding to something else, and the number would change. 249 or 375, whatever. So I'm rounding to the nearest 100,000. Therefore, the next two columns, the 127 million and 105 million, they're also estimated because the math goes right to that 167,000,003. When I'm computing that 127 million figure, I'm using that 176.3 and then withholding 24% withholding tax, which you're not going to get 100% of 167,000,003. You're only going to get 76% of that, and you will get that to the nearest $1,000. I think I've got it rounded to the nearest 1,000. So I'll be close on that one. But these are all estimates. They are not official lottery numbers. This is all done by Jimmy, but I'm pretty darn close. That's why I round to the nearest 1,000 or the nearest 100,000. I do the rounding so that I'm not like showing all, now this number here, this 5,508,000, now that's being computed, by a formula, the kind of formula that you learn in first year calculus. Like 10th, 11th, 12th grade, that's kind of when they teach calculus. When I was a young whippersnapper, they didn't hit calculus until, you could have it as a advanced placement course in the 12th grade. But most kids that had required math, if they took basic math as one of their math requirements in a liberal arts degree in college, when I was a young whippersnapper, like in 1965, right around circa 1965, let's say 66. Do the math. Whew, long time ago. Yeah. So that 5,508,000, 825 that's going to be pretty darn close, because if you added all of them up, going all the way across, all the way, I added them all up, I was only $70 off. And if I change that 5,508,825, if I made that 824, let's say I just put the number in to get the calculus, then all these numbers would change, and this would go way under 70. So I would have been like this one here. See this one here? Whoops. That's a $303,000 lottery. And adding them all the way across, as $13 short. So that final payment would have to go up $13 on the top line there. Yeah. So you can see each one of these. This is the closest one I got within $6. On the $90 million one, I was $6 off. 90 million, 6. So that's only, oh, here's one that's only $3 off. Yeah, I mean, so you round up, it rounds down, 50 cents or more goes up, 49 cents or less it goes down. So there I got a $266 million lottery. I missed it by $3 because this number is all of these added up. So, $32 off, $13 under, 63 over, 41. Why are they mostly over? One might ask. Because no one gets a half a penny. In other words, you round down if it's 49 cents. Well, you round up if it's 50 cents or more. Now, it really should have been 49.5 cents and 49.5 cents. But we're not calculating based on, tenths of a penny. If 50 is greater than 49. So when you're rounding up that 1 penny, that makes it so that these numbers are generally in the black, where we've overpaid. And if this was the official lottery, you just reduce that last payment. Instead of 078, it would be 008, because the math shows it as $70 too much. Yeah. So I am going to get away from this spreadsheet before I louse it up, because it's a touch screen here on this iMoped, and we're just gonna shrink that back where it belongs and get rid of it over all the way there and move this down to like 100 million or 100 million. I think that's where I had it. We should pull that over just a tad. That's it. And I'm gonna, that automatically saves it into that one right there. So what I did is I did a print screen of it, which is what this is. See, I can take this and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I can't change the numbers because this is just a picture of the spreadsheet. So I'm saving my fanny from having to, so if I was going to show this for, let's duplicate this. All right. So this is the original one, picture. And then this is a duplicate, exactly the same. So now I'm going to crop it. Where's my crop tool? There it is. I'm just going to pull this over. There it is. I'm going to pull it over and not show that first annuity payment. Should I show one? Let's just show one. There we go. So that's the check mark. That's now done. So here's with 2 annuity payments. Here's with 1 annuity payment. So I can, when I'm talking tomorrow about this thing, because tomorrow morning we'll be able to verify if anyone won. Because if no one won it, then I'm going to go back to the place. Let's see, I may even be able to get that now. So I'm going to go to the lottery app, which is right there. Let me make sure I'm storing it over. Lottery app, right there. And I'm going to go up here towards this winning numbers, Mega Millions, and they don't have it in the list yet. Yep. That's okay. I'm going to go home. And we also don't know whether there's a winner or not. You know, usually by 12:30, it's 12:23. So 12:30. So for another 7 minutes, we'll come back to this topic. Anyway, but if there's no winner, which in all likelihood there wouldn't be, because it's a 290 million to 1 shot that there would be. Getting struck by lightning is a 1 in a million shot. This is 1 in 290 million. Anyway, so assuming no one wins, I'll go back to the lottery where it says winning numbers, the past winning numbers, and I'll pick up the numbers with see the black circle? This ping pong ball has no circle. Anyway, when I decided to put the numbers in the circles, instead of just typing the numbers in there, which is kind of boring. This way, I got the balls, and I got the yellow ball, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll replace, this is actually a little piece of a picture, which I'm pasting in that spot. Yeah, that's what all these are. And I'll replace it with the numbers with the black circle around it, because I will know that the lottery people have double and triple checked, because this is a print screen right off the lottery app. That's an official Florida lottery app. It's not I'm looking at it, and writing them down when they pull the numbers at 11 p.m. an hour and a half ago. Yeah. I could only come to you 44 minutes ago because I had to. It takes me, 20 minutes or so to get all this stuff fired up. I got a homemade Coca-Cola in this cup, 20-ounce cup. Double-walled stainless steel, vacuum, so it keeps it cold. It keeps the ice from melting. There's no condensation on the outside up here because of the insulating characteristics of a vacuum. The vacuum space. So I have my little footnote there that this is not official anything. This is produced by the author. I'm the author. And the data has not been confirmed, endorsed by any lottery. No. No. These numbers I've calculated myself. I'm not trying to represent myself as any kind of an official lottery, anything. Now you can see I got Tuesday, Tuesday, Friday. So I got, I keep adding rows to this thing until someone finally wins it. The last time there was, the jackpot was, upwards of, $1 billion, $1.5 billion. It rolled over a whole bunch of times. Now, as these numbers get bigger, the rollover amount grows by a larger amount than 20 million. It might go 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, based on the number, the excitement that Mega Millions creates by having these things roll over and over and over. I mean, sooner or later, someone's going to win it, because they're selling, conceivably, billions of tickets. I should ask the question, what well, it's unanswerable. Never mind. It's 1 in 290 million. That's what the odds are. I answered my own question. That we know. That's also a lottery disclosure. They've given the odds of, winning the $1 million prize or winning the $1,000 prize, or, the different prize amounts. It's 1 in 13,000, I mean, there's the winning odds of the prizes that are smaller than the jackpot. Those numbers are also way up there. The overall odds in the lottery is like 30 to 1. Yeah. So if you bet $30, you count on average a $1 winning. It's not too good. It's actually slightly under 30. That's the overall prizes you can win, blended together in some mathematical. That's not my calculation. I don't know if I would know how to calculate it. If I was pressed, I would figure it out. But I'm not pressed, and not many people care about that number, and no one's asking me to verify whether Mega Millions has published that number correctly. And I'll take their word for it, because who cares? There you go. What a bunch of numbers, huh? Jeez. So if it's late night and you've had a couple of cocktails and you turn on my channel here, you look at all these numbers and say, what the hell is he doing? Those are all the previous Mega Millions winning numbers, This is the numbers the lottery produces with their two bouncing ball machines, and you got your ticket. I have my ticket in here. It is sealed with this Scotch tape in my little kit here, and inside my little kit happens to be my winning Mega. Oh boy. Oh, dream on, baby. So I have my ticket. Tuesday, February 10th ticket. I'll tuck them in there. And then tomorrow morning we'll scan that. The iPhone, the official lottery app, scans the serial number at the bottom of the ticket to see if you have a winning combination on there. And if you do, you go into the lottery retailer and it'll go ding. I wonder what sound it makes if it's the jackpot. Yeah, you got to fill out a lottery form, with your name and your address. Yeah, it's a full page of stuff you got to fill out. IRS information, you got to sign it. You got to put your tax ID number in it. All the numbers, not just the last four. And, you gotta, I don't know if there's an affidavit in there saying that you anything else. I have it. I've looked at it. I didn't bother to, there we go. I didn't bother memorizing it because if and when I become a winning, lots of luck on that, right? I'll worry about that form. It's actually a form you got to fill out for anybody and everybody that has this is Florida now. If you're playing a Florida lottery, you got all kinds of them, right? You got Powerball, which they draw 3 times a week. And Mega Millions does it twice a week with $5 tickets. And Powerball does it 3 times a week with $2 tickets, right? So the jackpot grows a little bit faster, it seems, with the Mega Millions week after week. Because, if you buy a ticket, Tuesday, Friday. So you buy 2 tickets for the week, that's $10. Whereas if you pay Powerball, you're paying $2 3 times a week. So that's $6. So in the Powerball, you got $6 going in every week. Mega Millions, you got $10 going in every week. And they changed over last year, April of last year, to a $5 ticket instead of a $2 ticket. And they rearranged all, the lottery so that, all the winning odds are the way they wanted it, and they got it approved by their board. They got some kind of, the lottery, the Mega Millions board of directors. There's probably a Mega Millions LLC of Florida, Mega Millions of Florida LLC. I don't know which state is we want to ask Siri? Hey Siri, what is the home state for Mega Millions?
Do you want me to? I don't eat or drink. My favorite snacks are facts.
Never mind. Hey Siri, Mega Millions is a lottery that's held in 45 states, which is the headquarters state.
Do you want me to use? Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Nope. No, never mind. You have to ask the question exactly right, or you get what you saw. I'm not too sure even how to ask that question. I'll figure it out tomorrow. So this week sometime, I will have an answer to, is it Florida? Is it Georgia? Is it Atlanta, Georgia, or is it Tallahassee, Florida? Or, if you win the ticket in Wyoming, I'm assuming Wyoming has Mega Millions. In 45 states, it's not all our states, it's just 45 of them, which is, a huge percentage of them. But, like New York has it, for example. New York has a Mega Millions, New York Mega Millions. So is there a home state? Or so if the home state was, if there is a home state, it may not be organized that way. So if I won, if a Florida resident won the $366 million lottery tonight, as reported tomorrow morning, they present their winning ticket in Tallahassee. Well, what if a New York Mega Millions person won? Do they have to come to Tallahassee? Or do they go to Albany, New York, or wherever their headquarters city is for Mega Millions? I'm just picking the state capital. So that's a question. I know if you're a Florida winner, you go to Florida and pick up you get your ticket there. Now maybe so if a New York Mega Millions jackpot winner, Mega Millions winner, remember he's one of the 45 states, I know New York is one of them. Does everyone have to fly to New York to pick up their winning? Or do you just go to the main office in your state to pick up your winning? And during that 2-week period, while they're assembling the money into the Mega Millions state lottery. So each state's citizen would pick up their winning in their state capital or the main city in the state. In Florida, it happens to be the capital. Or is it originated in Florida and everybody that wins has to come here to have their picture taken? They would have to fly here or whatever, or drive. Whew. And have your winning ticket neatly tucked into your briefcase, which is attached to your wrist with a tie. Yes. You have to cut it off your wrist. Sir, you have to put your briefcase under your seat during takeoff. And of course, yes ma'am, so you'd reach down below, put your briefcase under there, but you'd have to stay bent over because the briefcase is tied to your wrist. I guess you could have a small chain. You just don't want to forget your briefcase. You know, if a bomb goes off in your terminal, don't forget your briefcase, wherein you have the winning lottery ticket. Woo! But darling, I lost the ticket on the way to Tallahassee. I lost my briefcase. It got lost. It got legs and ran away from me. I put it right here, I turned around, and all of a sudden it's gone. Magically, someone snatched my briefcase. They knew my winning ticket was in there, even though my lips were sealed. Yeah. All right, I like this presentation, where I can tell everybody that $5,508,000 would be your initial lottery payment if you took the annuity, and then each year it would grow by 5%, compounded. And it grows. You saw it. It was up to like 22 million. You know, when you get to year 28 or 9, you're in the 20 million per year. Whew. That's quite a 5% compounded growth in your paycheck is big, you know. You multiply your salary by, 400%. Whatever the number is. You put a $50,000 salary in there and compound it 5% a year. Last year is going to be a big number. Yep. The magic of compounding. Well, you can see up on the top here, 100,000, $100 million lottery, and you see what the numbers are. You could just, 100,000 instead of 100 million, just take 3 zeros off. So in the news, just to talk just a second about that, they have captured a suspicious person. They have detained today. Okay. They not only have a video of the person fooling around with the front door and disassembling the camera that's in the ring camera doorbell thingy. So they actually have a video of the guy fiddling with that. It's about a 20-second loop that's saved, in the servers, even though these people weren't paying. Nancy Guthrie. Although Nancy Guthrie was not paying, the monthly subscription charge to record, all actions with the camera and the other cameras you have inside that might be connected to the Ring camera. You'd probably pay $15 a month. I'm making that up. A subscription fee to keep all those videos, for a 1 year period of time or some period of time. So it constantly gives you a year's worth of history. And month 13 gets discarded when you put month 1 on there. So you always have 12 months. The 13th month gets erased because it only holds 12 months. And you pay X number of dollars of subscription charge to store that video data with your camera and all the other cameras. And that number may change depending on how many cameras you got connected to the Ring camera, the Ring network, if you will. I think that's how that works. Anyway, so she puts a final appeal up. It's more of a heartfelt appeal, using some keywords that the FBI suggested that she say, but everything else. So it wasn't a written script, like reading from a written script. And these people know how to read a script. If you had a teleprompter, you'd think they'd have a teleprompter. I have teleprompter app. I have an app for teleprompter. So if you're giving a pitch, I used to have a small segment on Carol Taylor's Isogenics. Wednesday night call, I think it was, like at 9 o'clock at night. So at 9:55, 9:54, she'd say, "Okay, Jimmy, it's time for Slim Jim." That was me. And I'd be all ready, and I had my teleprompter ready. And depending on how the show went for the preceding hour, if I was like stuck in at the last, and I only had a very small period of time. So I had a 1 minute pitch, I guess I had a 1 minute pitch, a 2 minute pitch, and a 3 minute pitch. I had 3. I had a small, medium, and large. So if I had a lot of time, you could just see on your watch, if they turned it over to me, at 9:50, I'd have plenty of time to do my 3 minute spiel. And I had them all. I had all 3 pitches you know, scrolled into this teleprompter. So this was a audio only. There was no video. So I just spoke into my iPhone. But I had my spiel scrolling on my iPad. So I just, I did it so many times, 300-400 times. I got to know the spiel pretty good. Yep. So somewhere in this these 500 applications that I have here, there is one for teleprompter. T-E-L-E-P. Teleprompter. Prompter Pro. Let's go there. Let's see if it recognizes me. Prompter Pro. It's a blank page. Yeah, that wasn't. I didn't like that. Let's try the App Store. Since we're playing, we hit the magnifying glass on the top here, and then in that little window we write the T-E-L-E-P. Teleprompter. For speech delivery. Teleprompter Pro. Let's just do that one, see what it looks like. And I'm just paging through to see if anything. Let's go here. It says get. I'll search my apps. It shows, I think it showed that I have an account. What's this? So maybe this is what I've been using. Let's sign in. Oops. There we go. Oh God, I don't know what the password would be. Sign-in failed. Let's sign in with Apple. Using, oh crap. I saw the speeches written out. I didn't come across, this particular app. It's looking for a file somewhere. Oh, well. How about in the cloud? All right. Upgrade to Pro. I don't think so. They want to get you for $59 a year. I don't think so. Well, I'll figure that out. I don't know why I went there to begin with. All right. Let's go to my photo album. And Tesla had it. Ooh, must be 1 a.m. All the lights went out. Alexa, turn on the den lights.
Okay.
There we go, come on, lights. I got Alexa on almost everything. Alexa this, Alexa that. Yeah. All the house lights go out. The living room, the den. Living room and the den. They all go off at 1 a.m. Time to go to bed. It probably is. I'm just showing you that if you have a Tesla, your app that was updated 3 days ago. So it's time to update. I did a print screen just to remind myself and everyone else. So I updated my app. Your phone is your key. Your phone is your key. So the Tesla company that does the software for your car produces an app. They produced an app, 8 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago. And because your phone is your key, they give you a card. It's a black credit card looking thing. It has Tesla written on it. That's it. And embedded in that card is a coil, a loop, a wire connected to a little tiny circuit thingy. Very tiny. Fits inside, in between a credit card and no bump. Fits right in there. It's so thin. And then it connects to a coil of wire, and you that card up on the column between the front rear window, and it unlocks the car. If you put the card on there again, it locks the car. Unlock, lock, unlock, lock. So when you leave, everybody gets out of the car, you take your card and just put it up on that column. Whoosh. The side mirrors go in, the windows go up, and the doors lock. All simultaneously. And then you go off to your lunch appointment. And then when you're done with lunch, you come back and use the card, put it up on the column, a little north of middle of that column. And it senses the card. It's digitally secure to you. They hand you two of them. If you want more, you can pay, I think, $35 for two more. And then you can energize the card using your card. Yeah, there's a method of doing that. So that way you have 4 energized cards. So that if you had a husband and a wife and, a 20-year-old son that you wanted to have the ability to drive the car, make an extra card for him. And the 4th card goes in your super safe place. So in case you lose your cards, you need to buy more. You got one good one, which you can use in the car. There's a system you can do to energize a purchased card. What Tesla really wants you to do is to register your iPhone with the car, with the Tesla app, which I'm showing you here. It's a really good app, and they update it, every week or 2 or 3. And then you go to the App Store and update your app. See, when you go to the app on the App Store, it'll say update. If you don't have the app and it's the first time you're using the phone, you download the app and it wouldn't start. The app would download, but as soon as you as soon as you tried to use the app, it would want you to register your phone with the car. There's a first time for that. Every time you buy a new car, you register your phone with the car. Because your phone is your key. Your phone is your key. Your phone is your key. I've heard that so many times. Your phone is your key. So, now my watch happens to be the Apple Watch. You can sync, with the car. So that if my phone ran out of battery, for example, then the car wouldn't know when you're approaching. Assuming you have your iPhone, it has charge, the phone is on standby, and it's in your pocket, for example. As you walk up to the car, it notices that you are within the 14-foot circle of the car. It recognizes that and automatically energizes the car, knowing that a registered driver is approaching. And then you could open up the trunk with your hands, because there's no key to open up the trunk. You just gotta, right above the license plate, and there's a ridge, and you just press that ridge and it opens the trunk. Or the hatchback, I should say. It'd be a trunk on a Model 3, a hatchback on a Model Y. It'd be a trunk on a Model S, it'd be a hatchback on a Model X, which are discontinuing the S and the X in June of this year. So if you want one, you better register to get it in the next month or two to assure that you're going to get one, because they're phasing them out in June. I don't know if that's June 1st or June 30. My presumption would be June 30, because they're going to take away the parts of the part of the assembly line that deals with those two vehicles, and that's going to be allocated for Optimus Robot. And that space, which is about 13% of the floor space of the Fremont, California. That, the part of the factory that dealt with S and X will be stripped away. And the robots reassigned and reprogrammed, repurposed for, the current cars. Or put in, warehouse storage for when they want to open up a fifth factory. So the Tesla app is a very strategic component of operating your vehicle. All right. With that, I will leave you. Anyway, I'm wondering, I guess there'll be some time. Anyway, they picked up a person of interest. They have some forensic material that honed in on this guy that lived in a house somewhere near all these people in Tucson, Arizona. And the Tucson, Arizona SWAT team dispatched 2 SWAT vehicles to, I'm assuming, some residents somewhere in the area, or a business, or a warehouse, or I don't know how they know whoever they picked up, how they know where he was. But he's being interrogated right now, as we speak, as they say. Having to do with the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother. Can you believe it? They grabbed this lady. Okay. Time to say nighty-night. And I always have to put up that symbol. I have to make it full screen. Yep. So I got a homework assignment. I got a few questions to answer. I've been yickety-yakketing here for an hour and a half. Oh, let's see if the lottery people... excuse me. Let's just do the lottery app. I'll start it from scratch. And see if... we don't know yet. Winning numbers. Yeah, they haven't done anything yet. All right. Pick it up tomorrow morning. In the meantime, you guys have a nice evening. For you night owls that are up at 1:13 a.m. Having a late night toddy with Jimmy. Since I have to keep my tongue straight, I'm having a homemade cola drink. Add the cola syrup and add it to club soda. I hope you have a nice evening. I'm gonna go nighty-night. And I'll see you tomorrow morning before lunchtime. So you can have a little morning coffee with Jimmy. From my well-equipped, very small, 100 square foot studio. 100 feet above Chops in downtown Boca Raton.